Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Thursday, the 17th of November, and Friday, the 18th of November, 2016. As usual, we don't typically do market previews for Fridays, so we'll cover the rest of the week here. Most of the week will play out by tomorrow, everything we've been looking at and talking about. And of course, this week in particular, Friday has options expirations, so there's probably not going to be a lot going on Friday unless we get some sort of surprise on Thursday. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market in futures form, the proper technical way to look at the market. And as you can see, not much has changed. We were down a little bit today. Haven't really done much over the last week here in the broad market, but in projection mode, we are now 8 bars up towards a new startup phase, which would be potentially a rollover point. So if we get one more day, we don't have to be green tomorrow to get the 9th bar. We just need to close above 4 bars back. So we just need to close above about 2160 to get the 9th bar. That could be interesting. Let's go through some of the major indices that we look at, and then we'll look at the intraday action. We'll talk about what's to come the rest of the week. Here's crude oil. Lost 37 cents down to 44.64. Nothing special there. Gold up 80 cents. Again, not much of a move. That's sort of a bear flag that's forming on gold, by the way. Be aware of that. S&P cash index, again, down 3 for the day. Really no movement. The NDX was up 27. The SOX was up 9 to new highs. This is also 8 bars up, by the way. So it could be a top out tomorrow on the SOX. Got the biotechs down 49. VIX up 35 cents to 1372. The trend closed huge, 1.92. This actually, we've been talking about this. We've had that sell signal on the VIX for the last couple of days, and the market may be topping because of it. But in terms of it staying down there, we were dropping a 1.3 number off the 10-day moving average. We replaced it with this huge number, so that's brought the moving average back up to 0.9. We still did get the signal for 3 days, so it still is there and in place. But for now, we're back above 0.85 on the 10-day moving average. NASDAQ volume, 1.8 billion, the lightest of the last since the election, of course. Everybody kind of looking around trying to figure out what's going on now that things are settling down. Advanced decline ratio on the NASDAQ was plus 160. That means 160 more stocks up than down. On the New York, plus 161. Those are the lowest since the election. Google, plus $4.82. Apple, plus $2.88. Coming back a little bit. Amazon, plus $3.25. So some of the tech stocks making their way back. That's why the NASDAQ was up 27 points. But everything else was pretty much down for the day. Netflix up $1.60. Tesla up 16 cents. TLT, the bonds finally put in a green day. Let's see, they're still, they recycled the count there, so no new 9-bar startup phase, but we are still working towards a 13 potentially there, so any move to the downside there could give us a 13 buy signal on the bonds. I wouldn't expect that to lead to a big move. It's not like the bonds are going to recover all this immediately, but we'll see. Dow Jones Industrial Average, which we don't typically watch, but just because of that 13 buy signal 2 weeks ago, we'll take a look at that. It was down 54 points today, but notice that this is also 8 bars up. So a lot of the indices going to be tomorrow could be 9 bars up, assuming we don't have too big of a down day. Anything slightly negative to positive tomorrow gets us the top of the new 9-bar startup phase count. All right, so let's talk about what's ahead. There is some economic data coming out tomorrow, quite a bit actually. An hour before the bell, we've got CPI, that's inflation. We've got housing starts and building permits. We've got initial and continuing jobless claims. We've got the Philly Fed. An hour into the market, we've got natty gas. And then that is it for the week. There's no more economic data due. And keep in mind, Friday is options expiration. So we did not get an options unraveling move today. I think that's pretty clear when you go and you look at the futures. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. Look how flat today was. A little gap down here in the futures and then just dead flat. Basically a 5-point range. That's almost untradeable in the ES. Funny thing is, there was movement on the NQs, and we had a huge futures day. Locked in 50 ticks to our final exit on the NQs on our opening range plays this morning. So you've got that movement. You can see here on the NASDAQ side, also the gap down, but then shot up and climbed. Look at the 13 sell signal. That's the high of the day. And then, again, just like the other part of the market, dead flat. It's also funny when you compare the two. Let's go back and look. Here's the ES. The ES got the 13 sell signal in the last candle on Monday, and then we gap down and can't recover. The NQs, on the other hand, gets it today, right? Always just interesting to see how this stuff works. So it did give you the top today, and of course, really because it was just so flat in the afternoon. Rumors circulating that Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan might be the new Treasury Secretary, which would be really interesting, or at least be asked by the Trump campaign. Here's a look at J.P. Morgan, which was down a little bit late in the day as that news came out because he'd have to step down, obviously, as his role there. So that was interesting news late in the day. And I'm not sure exactly what total impact that'll have on the market. The markets may view that as a positive. He's obviously well respected, even if he is the opposite side of Trump. Always wanted to run for president himself as a Democrat. So it'll be interesting to see if he takes this role or if the rumors are just rumors. We've heard a lot of names floating around, but that certainly would be the most positive for Wall Street, I think, of what we've heard. May not be good for J.P. Morgan stock, but should be good for Wall Street. All right, here's a look at one more time at the futures. So, what happens? We've got Cisco after the bell reported, and it's down. I don't know exactly where that's going to land by tomorrow morning. Futures, the new set of futures are down here because of the Cisco mostly, 7 points or so. So we are down a little bit here, but it's still, this is just after the market closed. We've got all night for that to change, of course. First Solar's taking a hit aftermarket with some bad earnings. And so we'll see what we get. But again, here's the thing to focus on. There's a lot of data in the morning. There's going to be maybe this Jamie Dimon announcement. That could be interesting, stuff like that. But we still have the options unraveling move, and then we have options expiration itself, which should be very boring. And then next week, remember, you got Monday, Tuesday. Those are the 2 trading days. Then Wednesday, everybody leaves. Thursday, we're closed. Friday is a half day. Most people don't trade. So, whatever happens tomorrow, maybe, then Monday, Tuesday at best. And then, that's it for the next 2 weeks. So we'll see what we get. But that's, we'll be in the lab as usual. Charts brought to you by eSignal 12. If you've not yet taken the trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading Thursday and Friday.